childhood. The union of mortal and divine Achilles' myth begins with his parents, Peleus, a mortal king of the Myrmidons, and Thetis, a sea nymph. According to myth, Zeus himself had desired Thetis but relinquished her hand when it was prophesied that her son would be greater than his father. As a result, Thetis married Peleus, and Achilles was born from this union, destined for greatness. From birth, Achilles had divine qualities, inherited from his mother, making him the strongest and most formidable of mortals. The dipping in the river Styx in an attempt to render Achilles immortal, Thetis took her infant son to the underworld and dipped him in the waters of the river Styx, which were believed to make any who touched them invulnerable. However, she held Achilles by his heel, leaving that part of his body untouched by the water and thus vulnerable. This minor oversight would later lead to his downfall, giving rise to the term Achilles' heel to refer to a fatal weakness. Achilles' education. Achilles was raised and educated by Chiron, the wise centaur who tutored many Greek heroes. Under Chiron's guidance, Achilles learned not only the art of war but also music, medicine, and ethics. His education was comprehensive, molding him into a warrior of exceptional skill and intellect, capable of leading armies and inspiring loyalty among men. 3. The prophecy and the call to war. The prophecy of Achilles' death from his birth. It was foretold that Achilles would live either a long but unremarkable life or die young and achieve eternal glory. This prophecy loomed over Achilles throughout his life and shaped his actions during the Trojan War. Despite knowing his fate, Achilles chose the path of heroism, determined to be remembered as the greatest warrior who ever lived, even at the cost of his own life. Achilles' hidden youth. When the Trojan War broke out, Thetis, desperate to protect her son, hid Achilles on the island of Scyros, disguising him as a girl among the daughters of King Lycomedes. However, Odysseus, the clever king of Ithaca, discovered Achilles' identity by offering gifts to the girls, including weapons. Achilles, unable to resist the allure of the weapons, revealed himself, and thus he was called to join the Greek forces at Troy. Achilles and the Myrmidons. Achilles was not just a warrior. He was also the leader of the Myrmidons, a group of fierce and loyal soldiers from his homeland of Phthia. The Myrmidons were renowned for their discipline and bravery, and under Achilles' command, they became one of the most feared units in the Greek army. Achilles' leadership of the Myrmidons further cemented his reputation as the ultimate warrior. 4. The Trojan War. Achilles' heroic feats and rage. Achilles' dominance on the battlefield. From the moment Achilles arrived at Troy, he became the spearhead of the Greek assault. His prowess on the battlefield was unmatched. No Trojan warrior could stand against him. Achilles slew countless enemies, including Cyzicus, Tense, and numerous other defenders of Troy. His mere presence struck fear into the hearts of the Trojans, as he seemed invincible. Achilles and Briseis. The conflict with Agamemnon. Achilles' greatest conflict during the Trojan War was not with the Trojans but with his own leader, Agamemnon, the king of Mycenae. After capturing Briseis, a Trojan woman who became Achilles' war prize, Agamemnon forcibly took her from Achilles as compensation for losing his own war prize. This insult enraged Achilles, and in response, he withdrew from the war, refusing to fight for the Greeks. His absence dealt a crippling blow to the Greek army, which struggled to fend off the Trojans without their greatest warrior. Patroclus' death and Achilles' wrath. Achilles' withdrawal from battle had devastating consequences for the Greeks. As the Trojans pushed the Greeks back toward their ships, Achilles' close friend and companion Patroclus donned Achilles' armor and led the Myrmidons into battle. Though Patroclus fought valiantly, he was ultimately killed by Hector, the prince of Troy. Achilles' grief upon learning of Patroclus' death was immense, and it transformed into a furious desire for revenge. His rage reignited his involvement in the war, and he vowed to kill Hector in retribution. The duel with Hector and Achilles' revenge. Achilles versus Hector. The climactic duel. Achilles' confrontation with Hector is one of the most famous moments in Greek mythology. After mourning Patroclus, Achilles sought out Hector on the battlefield. Their duel was one of both honor and fate, as Hector was Troy's greatest defender, and Achilles was Greece's most formidable warrior. In a tragic but inevitable conclusion, Achilles killed Hector, and in a fit of rage, he dragged Hector's body behind his chariot around the walls of Troy, an act that shocked both mortals and gods alike. The reconciliation with Priam, despite his brutal treatment of Hector's body, Achilles was later moved by the grief of King Priam, Hector's father. In a moment of rare empathy, Achilles agreed to return Hector's body to Priam for a proper burial. This act of reconciliation highlighted Achilles' complex nature. Though capable of great wrath, he was not devoid of humanity and respect for the dead. Thank you for watching the whole video. If you find it interesting, please give me a like and subscribe to the channel.